I will never be a memory.
And what's going on, Read My Lips people? We are back. Back like we ain't never left, baby. So, back to our regularly scheduled program. Got some more Yang news for you guys. And, yeah, Charlie Kirk, ironically, ended up making the case for UBI. Now, he did this while he was trying to shit on UBI and shit on Medicare for All, but ironically, he made the case for it. And I just think it's pretty funny. There's a lot of people that love them some Charlie Kirk. I've heard people call him a genius. Look, I'm not a Charlie Kirk fan, and I try to listen to everybody. I really do. I'll sit down, I'll listen to some Ben Shapiro. I'll sit down, I'll listen to some Kyle Kalinske. I'll sit down, I'll listen to some Tucker Carlson. I'll sit down, I'll listen to some Steven Crowder. So the point of my story is I try to give everyone a chance, and I try to chew the meat and spit out the bones, essentially. You know what I mean? Even if it's someone you vehemently disagree with, there are times you can pick jewels from what they're saying and learn something. I gotta say, majority of the time I sit there and listen to Charlie Kirk, I don't learn anything. I really don't. That being said, he was sitting here and he was discussing how pretty much the government shouldn't have bailed anybody out. Shouldn't have bailed out the businesses, shouldn't have bailed us out, should have pretty much just left us to fend for ourselves. And how it's setting a precedent that the government, if they really wanted to, could do Medicare for All. They could do a UBI. And he's scoffing at it like, the government could. You're going to let people think the government could do these things. So I'm going to let you hear the clip. And then I'm also going to let you hear Kyle Kalinski's response to this, because he did drop something on it, I see. And he pretty much responds perfectly. Let's take a look.
And they're already talking about another stimulus. And look, here's the long and short of it, is that middle America, real small business relief, the best stimulus they could have, Michael, is the green light to go back to work.
Of course,
that's what they want.
Course.
And so I understand it's not that simple. And I understand there's, all sorts of competing data and all that sort of stuff. However, I am of the opinion, like, hey, posting a $4 trillion deficit, that should be something that should be deliberated so thoughtfully and critiqued so carefully, not jammed through and passed in what I consider with some of the most egregious waste that I've seen in a bill in the history of the U.S. Congress.
And what's so scary here for conservatives is the precedent. Because listen, I'm fairly amenable to the bill. I can get behind a lot of aspects of it, but the sticking point for me.
You're more amenable than me, but finish.
I know I'm probably more amenable to it than you are, but the sticking point for me is we are now setting the precedent of the government on a massive scale sending direct checks to people because of a time of crisis. Well, look, maybe this is a serious crisis, at least an economic one. But what about the next time?
Yeah, but Michael, Medicare for All costs $32 trillion, but not $32 trillion a year.
That's right.
That number that Bernie said was over 10 years. So now we've set a precedent that $3 trillion a year for Medicare for All is not that much.
Yeah.
In fact, it's perfectly affordable. But UBI, why not do it every quarter? Why not every month?
Why not? I agree, Charlie. I agree. Yeah, he's actually making our case there. He's making our case there. So the government should be the last line of defense. And even though he doesn't mean it when he says it at the end there, I think he's correct. He's like, well, now, see, you've set a precedent, and the precedent is the government could just spend whatever whenever they want for whatever reason, and this sets up a problem. Well, it's only a problem because our government is corrupt, so they're spending the money in all the wrong ways. If they weren't corrupt and they just spent the money on the actual crises, that'd be wonderful. That would be a thriving social democracy. So, almost, Charlie, almost. You were so close. So close. But he said it. He's like, well, if we could afford this ridiculous bailout bill? Well, why can't we afford Medicare for all? Why can't we afford UBI? Correct, Charlie. Correct. That, but unironically.
So that's interesting. You know, I would really like to see Charlie Kirk on Yang's new podcast. And obviously, I don't know how the layout's going to be. I don't know how it's going to be set up. I don't know, what kind of questions are going to be imposed. But I would really like Yang to make his case to Charlie Kirk about universal basic income, or ask him why he's opposed to it. That is something I like to see. And don't let Charlie talk the entire time. Give Yang a chance to speak. Jesus, that man can talk nonstop and think he's nailing it every single time. So that's something I would really like to see. If you guys would like to see Charlie Kirk talk to Andrew Yang, give me a hell yeah.
Give me a hell yeah. What?
If you'd like to see Charlie Kirk talk to Andrew Yang on his podcast, let me know in the comment section below. So I just find it very interesting, like the irony of it, like UBI. Like, they're gonna start thinking, people are gonna start thinking you can do UBI. Yes, sir. Yeah, they can. Now on to the second story. So look, the whole Yang backlash train hasn't exactly slowed down yet. And honestly, I thought it would. I thought like people would be over it. But it's not, because we live in, a sort of culture now where people, it's hard for them to let these things go. You can disagree with someone and move on. But a lot of people, can't do that. And so Jenny Yang, she had some interesting things to say about Yang's op-ed. And she's a comedian, and she does satire. And she dropped the video, said, "Honk if you won't hate crime me." And I think she's got like 30,000 some odd Twitter followers or something like that. Guys, I got to pass her in Twitter followers. We can't let Jenny Yang beat me in Twitter followers. What's going on? Subscribe to The Real Be Serious on YouTube and add me on Twitter. Add me on Instagram. And I just on Facebook made an official Read My Lips News and Politics fan page. So I have my regular page, and then I have the official Read My Lips News and Politics fan media page. And that's where not only am I going to post stuff on here on YouTube, but it's going to be posted on the fan page as well. So go on Facebook, just type in Read My Lips News and Politics. It should pop up. But Jenny Yang, she dropped a satirical video poking and prodding at what Yang had said. And, it garnered some views. And she ended up speaking to The Hollywood Reporter because it did pretty decently among social media. So I'm going to play you her satire video. Once you guys watch it, let me know what you think of it in the comments. So we're going to play that video, and then we're going to come back and talk about this a bit more.
The coronavirus has a lot of Americans scared of Asians. So Andrew Yang says we can't make them be less racist. We just have to be more American. Let's see if that works. Come on. I'm ready to be more American. No takers. USA! USA! Hi, would you like a Clorox wipe? I'm giving them out. It's just a service to the community because I'm an American. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Because there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA! 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 Everyone not honking is not a patriot. I got so many American resumes. All of my resumes tell everyone how American I am. Look, it's in Comic Sans because that's right. I'm really good at complaining about ethnic food giving me the runs. You're a grand old flag, you're a high flying. I found another patriot. Look, I just want to make sure you know that I am very American. This is my resume. There you go. I'm really good at saying woot. I like to ask for ranch dressing wherever I go. Will you not hate crime me? USA. How would you like a free Clorox wipe? All right, that's okay. Yeah, right. She didn't want a wipe, but maybe she needs one. USA, USA, USA. Glory, hallelujah. I don't know the rest. I'm giving this nice American couple my American resume. Here you go. Look, 6 feet away.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm also giving you things to help you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Here's a Clorox wipe.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's my question.
Yeah.
Will you hate crime me now?
No.
Sorry.
You won't, right? You won't. Okay. You can email me at american@aol.com. I really feel like wearing red, white, and blue helps. You know what I mean? Lots of people honking, supporting. Thank you, Andrew Yang.
So I don't know. I'm not the type to get easily offended. So like I'm not outraged by the video. She's allowed to express herself and she's allowed to do it in any form she feels free as long as it's not hurting other people. And you know, if comedy's an art. Comedy is an art. And she felt the need to do it this way, and obviously she takes comedy serious, and obviously this Yang op-ed bothered her some. And so she actually replied to Andrew Yang before she spoke to the Hollywood Reporter. And she said, this hasn't worked before, Andrew, and this will never work. 33,000 Japanese Americans served in World War II, 800 of them killed in action, yet 120,000 Japanese Americans were put into internment camps. Asian Americans don't need to prove that they're Americans, Andrew Yang. We've already proved that being Captain America won't make people respect us. So people feel strongly about this, and you know, it's their right to. But I just want to reiterate, I just want to shine a light. Andrew Yang has done a lot for the Asian community, and you don't have to, as far as in politics goes, and you don't have to agree with every single thing he does. You're still allowed to support Andrew Yang, support his ideas and policies, but don't have to agree with everything the man says. Like I told you guys before, I thought he was a Super Saiyan walking amongst us men, but it turns out he's just a human being. And listen, Andrew Yang, Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard were my three candidates that I sort of put my hope and faith in. Do you think I agreed with every single thing all three of them said? No, of course not. Of course not. But in the broader picture, in the broader spectrum, I agreed with their message. So yeah, she spoke to the Hollywood Reporter. I'm not going to read you the entire interview because it's pretty long. But just to give you a general, gist of the interview, they asked her, what was your first gut response to the op-ed? My stomach sank. He is arguably the most prominent Asian American face in American media and politics today. He just came out with a Washington Post opinion piece saying, we can't expect saying don't be racist to work. So instead, my message is Asian Americans try to be more American, whatever that means. And even that was very ill-defined to the point of comedy. It's funny that he would mention wearing red, white, and blue, or Natalie Cho wearing a UCLA basketball uniform. Are we just going to walk around wearing UCLA basketball gear every day to make sure we're not a target of anti-Asian racism? The most disappointing part is that he said the word ashamed. He referred to himself feeling the prying eyes of someone on him in a supermarket and feeling somewhat ashamed of being Asian in that moment, which is very honest and vulnerable, and that's good. But instead of taking that problem of feeling ashamed in response to negative anti-Asian perception. And going against that, he doubled down on it by saying, let me reinforce the logic of why I should be ashamed of being Asian, and let me reject being Asian so that I can try to accommodate the majority culture and make them feel comfortable so they don't hate crime me. What he's saying is, let us reinforce any sense of shame you have about being Asian or your identity by saying not being that, because being American is different. It means you're usually actually helping each other, wearing red, white, and blue, and trying to donate supplies. Individuals living in our community take a lifetime trying to undo any sense of shame about who they are as Asians because they grew up feeling like they had to be less than, feeling like they had to accommodate other people's needs in order to survive, and in just one fell swoop tried to argue that that's still a ways to go. So yeah, they really delve into it here, and it's a very interesting interview, and I'll leave the link to it in the description if you guys want to check that out. But just to, again, give you the tone of the conversation, they asked her a question like, it seemed like Yang was implying a dichotomy between being American and being Asian. He described Americanness in fairly reductive terms, and by doing that, what is the implication about Asianness supposed to be? He didn't say lean into your Asianness by helping other people. What's the historical context about Asian Americans proving their American patriotism, etc. So, man, I just thought it was interesting. I'd never heard of her before, Jenny Yang. But when I saw her video, I figured it was something that was worth sharing, and I really wanted your guys' opinion on it. But even till this day, there are people that are anti-Yang now, and I almost feel like they were waiting for something. Do you know what I mean? I feel like they were waiting for a slip up so they can be like, screw Yang. As a matter of fact, yesterday I shared a video on Twitter, and some Bernie supporters went in the video actually, and were saying, Yang's a coward, and you guys aren't true progressives, and kind of trying to shit on Yang and the people that support him. And anyone watching this channel knows that out of everybody in the Yang gang, I was the one, me, right here, that gave Bernie supporters the benefit of the doubt. I was the one that said, no, not all of them are toxic, and, really tried to play devil's advocate. Right? I think we can all agree on that. But some of that toxicity slipped in yesterday in a post that had nothing to do with him. It was strictly about Andrew Yang. And they went into the Yang post talking shit. So he's... And they had a rough day yesterday. Bernie Sanders suspended his campaign. They were probably lashing out. Even some people in the comment section were saying, like, you guys had a rough day. We're going to give you a pass. We're going to give you a pass on this one. But Yang's been taking a lot of heat. He's taking it from Sanders supporters. He's taking it from some Yang gang who, because they start washing his hands of him. All I got to say is, in the broader picture, in the bigger spectrum, he's been mostly right about everything. And he's allowed to make mistakes. And you're allowed to disagree. And don't throw the whole damn person away because of one instance or one incident, or because you think some of his tweets might have been weird lately. It just makes me think he's more human than he's ever been. And he'll continue to have my support. Yang 2024, baby. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Charlie Kirk being insane. And Jenny Yang dropping satirical videos. Yeah, again, let me know what you think of her video. Did you find it funny? Do you think she's a funny person? Does she give you chuckles? Yuck, 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 yuck. I don't know. I didn't, I wasn't outraged by the video, but it didn't do much for me either. So, if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, please like, comment, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Just hip thrust that like button. If you don't, let me know in the comment section why. I'm always down to talk about it. I have a Cash App, a PayPal, and a Venmo link in the description below. Please feel free to donate to the channel, especially nowadays. Every little bit helps. Hopefully I'll be talking to you guys soon. Have a good one. Peace.